Mrs. Margo Peyton to accept her award.
Wow. Thank you for this opportunity to stand here before you tonight. This is a very prestigious honor for me, and I just want to thank the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. I'd like to thank the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame, William Klein, and I also want to thank Leslie Leaney because he nominated me for this prestigious award, and he couldn't be here, but I wanted to thank him tonight. Grand Cayman the Cayman Islands have a lot of connecting points for me. Stephen Broadbelt, mentioned them at breakfast this morning when he said that 32 years ago, he and I met here at a dive site called Babylon. And I didn't realize it had been 32 years ago. My son Robbie was born here in 1994 at Georgetown Hospital. He became a PADI instructor under Joanna at Dive Tech. My husband, Tom Peyton, proposed to me at the Wharf Restaurant here in 2005. I became a dive master here with Bob Soto's Diving and Off the Wall Divers back in 1991. A lot of connecting points here. Nancy Estabrook, for 14 years, she collaborated with me to create Kids Sea Camp in the Cayman Islands. And together, we brought thousands of kids and families to the Cayman Islands. And she created the first SASSIes and SEAL teams for me. And actually, Carolyn Pascal is here from the Women Diver Hall of Fame, and her daughter, Melissa, was certified through Dive Tech's program with many of the hundreds of kids we brought here. And Jason Belport continues that with me today with the Sister Islands and Little Cayman and Cayman Brac with his amazing dive team that actually includes Barbie and her daughter, Cassie. Thank you. I want to thank Patty because they are my family and they've given me tools to teach kids. They've created amazing quality programs for me to share around the world in 15 different countries. For SASSI and SEAL Team and Junior Open Water, and 15 college accredited courses that I get to share around the world and speak about. And for them being here today to support me, Drew and Lucy. Teresa couldn't be here, Kristen is here, and thank you very much for that. I also want to thank Nancy Estabrook for being a mentor, for helping me to be strong and courageous and determined about kids being welcome at dive resorts and really being tenacious and letting the dive industry know that kids should dive and they need to dive. And as I said in that video, they are 20% of our population, but they are 100% of our future, and we need to believe in them and keep them safe. You never know how far your act of kindness can go and respect and service to others, but it changes a life. And many of the people in this room changed mine, and I'm very grateful for that. So I want you all to keep caring about children and creating safe places for them. I want to thank my own family and my parents and my dive team, and my wonderful husband who's always supporting me and took great faith one day as a flatlander who had never been in the water before and learned to scuba dive and travel around the world with me. Thank you. And I have some clients and friends here that have been traveling around the world with me, so thank you for supporting me. I want to thank Cameron. Cameron, can you come here for a second? I'm going to try to get through this without crying. but you became a connecting point for me here. So I have been showing around my guests and friends to the Cayman Islands, and I've had this like little longing in me to go out to Cobalt Coast because it's not there anymore. And I wanted to go to Cobalt Coast, and I asked my friends after we had lunch, I said, could we go out to Cobalt Coast? I said, I know it's not there anymore, but I know Joe mentioned that Dive Tech was out there again. So I drove all the way out there. I made a few wrong turns, but I made it. And when I got there, I walked through and everything was closed, probably because of the storm. And I walked out onto the pool deck and I saw a little open sign on the dive shop door. And I walked in there and Cameron was so polite. He was such a gentleman. He was very welcoming. And I walked into the dive shop and I introduced myself and I said that I had some people that were going to be diving in the morning. And I was kind of looking starry-eyed around the resort and I said, you know, I used to come here a long time ago and I used to bring a lot of people here. And he said, you know, I used to be here a long time ago too. And I said, you know, we used to have this kids' sea camp and I would have all this gear and stuff for the kids. And he said, yeah, he said, I used to be one of those kids, you know, and they would chase us away off the dock. And I said, you know, I never chased anybody off the dock. I said, as a matter of fact, I had always extra gear, extra Scuba Pro fins, mask, and snorkels. And at the end of the week, I would come down the dock and there would always be 4 or 5 kids that were like hanging around and jumping off the dock. And he looked at me and he said, I was one of those kids. And you are the lady that gave me a fins, mask, and snorkel set. And he said to me, I've always loved the ocean and I love to dive. He said, but they always chased me away. And he said, and you gave me a fins, mask, and snorkel set. And he says, and it's why I'm here today. And it was so profound to me, but I left. I actually cried all the way back. And that night, I had to tell Joe the story, and I told Nancy and Jay too, because it's just a dot that connects. Yep. And it's how important we all are in this room to each other, and how much it means when you don't even know that you affected a life just because of an act of kindness or respect. And the way he was when I came into the shop. And we didn't know each other, but we actually did. And that's what we can all do for each other. It's what we should all do for each other. And it's why I am here today. And I hope someday I can sit there and watch you on this stage.
I hope so too.
This morning.
Thank you.